Welcome to the Twilight Zone. Now, when you heard this phrase, you knew things were going to absolutely get nutty. Living in the Twilight Zone isn't just unsettling. This is a psychological endurance test wrapped in existential dread with a side of irony. So let's take a look at what makes up this interesting, completely perpetual, uncanny space. Now, living in the Twilight Zones means existing in a world where everything looks almost normal, but never quite right. And this is the first psychological blow, the uncanny valley of reality itself. You start second guessing every interaction, every reflection, every sound. Paranoia becomes baseline, and skepticism becomes a survival tool. And this induces this sense of derealization and hypervigilance out of the individuals. You start testing reality, flipping on light switches, staring at clocks, repeating sentences just to see if the world itself glitches. And then you realize that every inhabitant in the Twilight Zone is a test subject in some moral or philosophical experiment. You might think that you're living a normal life until the twist comes for you, that now you're actually in purgatory or a simulation, or you're in karma's literal waiting room. So this gives you like this deep-rooted anxiety and cosmic judgment. You overthink every decision, suspecting that some omnipresent force in the sky is actually grading you, and it seems like they are. This also forces some identity fragmentation in this world. Characters frequently wake up as someone else in a different time or a different space, or even people just remembering them in a completely different way. And this is identity crisis on steroids, because you lose all feeling of continuity of yourself. So this forces some disassociation. You have a loss of ego boundaries. You start clinging on to any kind of stable anchor, a name, a photo, even a reflection, just to prove that you exist. And then from a temporal standpoint, this place is completely unreliable, which is going to mess with your brain. Time in the Twilight Zone loops, stutters, skips. Imagine never being sure if tomorrow already happened. And the normal psychological rhythm of cause and effect collapses in this world. Motivation goes out the door with that. So people have this learned helplessness and this time disassociation. You kind of stop planning for the future because there might not be a future, or it might be the same future that you had yesterday. And then there's this realization within it that every resident of this Twilight Zone realizes that the universe is indifferent at best. It's completely riddled with irony, and it's possibly scripted for someone else's amusement. You yourself, you're not the hero in the story. You're just a lesson. And this sets in this existential despair or radical acceptance. Either you go mad trying to fight the Twilight Zone, or you find serenity in the chaos that exists. And this is the ultimate Zen nihilism. The cruelest part is you never really know that you're in the Twilight Zone until it's too late. And this place isn't hell, it's just a mirror. They say you're traveling through another dimension, not only of sight and sound, but of mind. And the worst part is you never know if you're traveling through that dimension or if it's traveling through you. The Twilight Zone is fraught with paradox, and it's the ultimate judge. It's going to skin you right down to the bone while laughing at you the entire time. If you have more that you want to add to this piece on this very interesting place, please drop in the comment section. And as always, I ask that you hit that like and subscribe.